Hello. Hello there, and good day to you. Hello, this is the final Brown Joes episode of 2023. This is episode 88. I hope you enjoyed my very first ever Zoom episode with Ethan Hirschenfeld. Lovely man that he is, lovely New York man. Did feel like the episode was drawing to a natural conclusion. You probably couldn't have seen it you definitely couldn't have seen it on audio. But the episode came to a natural conclusion when his dog started jumping in the picture. Well, you probably have noticed that if you watched it on YouTube. And so I was like, what the fuck is that? Out the corner of the screen, I saw like a dog's nose just poking in, and then I was like, alright, it's just trying to drop a tennis ball on his lap. I was like, this has never happened before on a podcast. And thank you to the two people who messaged me to say your voice sounds like shit, Ralph. What the fuck is wrong with your voice? And I was like, thank you very much for noticing. Thank you for being so pleasant about that. Yeah, I've been trying to just plough on through with this shitty voice. Shitty lungs, shitty voice as well. Good combination. Excellent, just what you want to have when you do stand-up comedy. Just have a fucking broken throat and voice box. Class. It's actually got to the embarrassing stage. And now this is fucking painful. Painful to even admit this. But in order for me to actually have to do stand-up, even record a podcast, even now, this is minging. I have to do, like, vocal warm-ups, like some kind of fucking diva. Who the hell do I think I am? Vocal warm-ups. I mean, it's not my choice. I need to tell you that. It's not my choice. I don't really have a say in this. If I don't do it, I'm screwed for days. I think it's a bit of a slippery slope. When you start doing vocal warm-ups, the next thing you know, you'll be asking for like your water at room temperature. Did they ask, is it water at room temperature? Surely they don't ask for water at room temperature. Then it's fucking warm. It's disgusting. Surely they ask for it chilled. I don't know. All I'm saying is, I feel like a fucking tit. But it has to be done because the doctors haven't got a clue. They've not got a fucking clue what's going on. So I'm left doing vocal warm-ups, which, when you see it happening, you look so unhinged. Because it's not natural what you're doing. It's so weird. Like the one thing that works, it works better than anything, but it makes me look the dumbest. You got to put your top teeth into your bottom lip, kind of bite down, and then make a V sound. So you got to go for 2 minutes, and I've got to do that. I've been on the bus, and I've had to do this. I've been on the bus going to a gig, and I've had to sit there like it's so fucking stupid. And you cannot do it quietly. You cannot do it quietly. Literally the whole point is to make as much noise as possible. The other one, you've got to hold your hand over your mouth and then just like make noises and then change the pitch. So imagine just walking next to someone in the street and they're just walking with their hand over their mouth going like I look like I'm fucking kidnapping myself. It's so stupid. So if you see me cutting about somewhere just going I'm not wanting to do it. I don't have a choice. If I don't do it, my voice is fucked. Anyway, enough of a bit of shitty voice box and the throat and all that stuff. Enough of that. This is the last episode of the year. 2 more gigs at Monkey Barrel on Thursday the 21st, the day this episode comes out, and then I'm done for the year. I'm done. Back in January, doing a few pretty cool gigs in January. Doing a bit of a tour support for Connor Burns, ex-Brown Joes guest, Connor Burns. Old Burnsy boy is doing a bit of a UK tour, and I'm doing some opening, some tour support dates in a couple of places. Where the fuck am I going? Can't remember. Doing about 8 of them. The only 2 I can remember are the Lowry in Salford. Should probably work out how to say that. No idea how to say that. And then a Brighton one, and then 6 other places around the UK. So that's going to be fun. Connor's doing some pretty cool venues there. And in a similar situation to the opening I did for Gareth Much earlier in the year, I've got one job, don't fuck it up. So that's what I've got to do, don't fuck it up. And also at some point, I think maybe in the next week, I mentioned this on Instagram a few weeks back, I don't even know like how to begin explaining this. There is no, well, from what I'm about to say, there is no reason, there is no logical explanation as to why I did this, other than just thought, it could be a laugh. Let's do that. Let's see how that goes. A friend of a friend is a very talented photographer. His name is Craig McIntosh. He got in touch with my friend Paul. Paul said, would you want to get your picture taken by Craig? He's looking at kind of do a bit more kind of photo shoots, things like that. And I thought, yeah, that sounds cool. I'm up for that. And I've just realised that like photo shoots and like vocal warm-ups, I'm a fucking full-blown wank. But not like that. Just this guy like kind of does things a bit out of the ordinary. And yeah. So Craig dropped me a message and he was like, hey, let's do something. Let's do something a bit funny. How would you feel if I just took your picture and filmed you as you sat trying to eat loads and loads of cheeseburgers? And then I read the message. I sat and I contemplated it for about 8 seconds. And I said, Craig, I love cheeseburgers, mate. I fucking love cheeseburgers. Count me in. And again, you're probably thinking, why? Why? Look, there's no explanation. There's no reason. This just is. He thought it would be a laugh, and I don't know anything about like the whole like getting your picture taken. Like, what's a good location? Like, what to do with that? I don't have a clue about that. I don't know to go like, oh, that sounds good, but how about we do this? I was just like, oh, there's an idea. Let's just do it. So we did it. I've just seen the photos and the video today, and oh my god, it is watching a man have a mental breakdown, like a downward spiral. So we went to McDonald's. We got 10 cheeseburgers because I'm a fussy little fuck. I asked for them plain. It took about half an hour to get 10 plain cheeseburgers made up at the same time. By the time we get back to Paul's house, by the time we've got all the cameras set up, by the time everything's ready to go, the burgers are freezing cold. Craig is filming this on like an old VHS camera. He's wanting to look like I'm just doing it like an eating challenge in like the 90s or something like that. Again, no questions were asked. We just ran with it. So some old school like video recorder from the 90s type footage of me sitting down trying to eat 10 plain cold cheeseburgers. And some of you who maybe have a brain in their head will have said by now, why didn't you heat them up, Ralph? Why didn't you heat them up? That's an excellent question. I think someone mentioned it. One of the three of us mentioned it. Definitely wasn't me. So then I just sat staring down the barrel of a 1990s camcorder and tried to eat 10 cheeseburgers. And here is a little excerpt. Here's a little snippet. A little way to just summarise how it went. Well, we went for the 10 burgers. Only did 5. And I feel like shit. I feel like I could fall asleep. I'm going to shit myself. Disgusting. I started off that day. Oh, by the way, someone should mention, it was about, 10, 11 in the morning? I hadn't had any breakfast. That was my breakfast. That's how it went. I went into that day loving cheeseburgers. I'm never touching cheeseburgers again as long as I live. I was delirious. I was losing my mind. I was tired. I was just like, I was broken. I was broken after about 2 cold cheeseburgers. They're disgusting. But the photos look amazing as they can when you're just stuffing cheeseburgers on your face. And the video is very, very funny. Looking back on it, I can view it as if it wasn't even me. And I look at this poor, sad little man just eating the burgers. And I'm like, oh, Christ's sake. What happened here? Where did it all go wrong? So I'll post a link to Craig's Instagram in this episode description. You can go and follow Craig if you want. You can go and see all the amazing other work he's done. He's done loads of other cool stuff. This is a bit of off-piste. Definitely different from what he's normally on. But here we are. It was a good laugh. I'm never touching cheeseburgers again as long as I live. And when it does actually get posted, I'll mention it on the podcast so you can go and watch the pain, the discomfort, and just me feeling absolutely minging. Anyway, this is a bit of a short episode. It's coming up to Christmas. Everyone's got loads of shit to do. No one fucking listened to the episodes this time last year. Everyone takes a bloody good break from their podcast, which I'm fine with. I'm very much okay with that. So there's not going to be an episode next week. Then we're going to come back first Thursday in January with an episode. But there's going to be a bit of a change to the podcast next year. It's been a bloody good year for the Brown Jewels. Bloody good year. Listeners, subscribers, followers, Patreon, all growing, all going really, really well. But it is becoming increasingly difficult to get a guest in every single week. Because I've talked to most of the people in Scottish comedy, most of the people that actually live here. There's a few left on the hit list that I still want to talk to. So I'm going to get around to them. But to get new guests in every week, it's a fucking struggle. And it's getting to the point now where I was like, I didn't feel like I was harassing people, but I was just like sliding into the old DMs. People didn't know. And like I said, for people like Michael Schaefer, Ori Styler, very sound. But for the amount of people that can say, yes, I'll come in, there's loads of other people that are like, hey, look, I'm in Edinburgh, but I can't make it. They're just in town for one night, they're doing a gig, and they're getting the hell back out of town. And you know what, fair enough, I do not blame them. If I was doing that, I'd be like, right, I'm just going to go to my hotel, do the gig, and then go home. I'm still going to be pestering those people, don't worry, there's still loads of cool comedians that are coming into Edinburgh in 2024. I'm definitely going to be hassling them. To put an episode out every single week with a new guest, it ain't sustainable anymore. And I don't want to get to the point where I'm just putting out episodes for the sake of it. I only want to put episodes out if they're actually going to be funny, if I really, really want to do them, if I really want to talk to the guests, I want to be doing that. Because some of them, I tell you what, some of them are going to the wire. And again, this is all these like little insane deadlines that you give yourself. That I feel like, you need to put a podcast out. It needs to be every week. It needs to be out on a Thursday. It cannot go out an hour late. It cannot go out a day late. And all these little self-imposed deadlines were just like stressing me out, man. And I don't even know why I did it. Now that I'm saying this, I'm like, why was I just so like strict with these self-imposed deadlines? It doesn't make any sense. I want to enjoy doing this podcast and I want to keep doing it and I'm going to keep doing it. But an episode every single week, it just isn't going to be happening, unfortunately. So from the start of 2024, the episodes are going to be out every second week. So every alternate week, there's going to be a new episode out. There's more going out in the Patreon. There's more solo episodes going out in the Patreon, more exclusive content there. If you want to get others, you want to get more stuff, go in there, subscribe, £3 a month. You know the deal. I've mentioned it before. But just to end the episode, just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for putting up with my shit. Thank you for listening to what can only be described as some very weird episodes, including this one. Even if you've listened to one or if you listened to all 88, thank you. Love it. Love the support. Keep listening. I'm keeping doing the podcast. I'm away to enjoy Christmas and eat about 30 kilograms of Toblerone. That's going to be class. Can't wait for that. If you celebrate Christmas, have a bloody good one. And if you don't, I don't know what you do on the 25th. Enjoy that fucking day as well. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Goodbye.